Hi everybody, welcome back to the Dahlia Society. Today I'm going to take you through my top 5 patterns that I made last year, things that I wore the most and things that I loved the most. So I hope you can stay tuned to watch that. Well, I hope you've all been busy this week getting some sewing jobs done. I know myself, I've got a lot happening at the moment. I've been working on a few bits and pieces in the garden at the moment. We're really in that beautiful time of year when all the dahlias are opening up. I've got quite a few that are blooming at the moment. If you can see behind me, these are a few I picked this morning out of the garden, which I just love that colour combination together. Pinks and the burgundies. Yeah, I'm really loving the colour, the bright colour. It really does improve your mood a lot. So what else has been keeping me busy this week? We're in the midst of organising. My twin daughters are turning 21 at the end of the month. So we're organising a party for those girls. We decided to go with a bit of a theme this year. The girls really loved dressing up. My husband had a 50th last year. We had a 1969 party for his 50th last May. So we actually went all out and did the whole costume from that era. So everyone really got into the spirit. We love a good costume party. And I know a lot of people think, oh, gee, do I have to really put the thought into dressing up? And I was worried a lot of people wouldn't come dressed up, and they actually did. Everyone really put a lot of thought into it. So we had a brilliant night for that. I will pop some photos up of last year's party. You can see that we decked out the whole hall in retro vibe clothing. Homewares, we actually scoured a lot of the vintage shops, retro shops, to pick out just bits and pieces of how it would have looked in 1969 in a kitchen or dining area. So we made a little corner of the hall up so everyone can have photos in and really get into that spirit. I didn't make my dress. I found it in a vintage shop, just a local shop near us. And it was actually a dress made in Melbourne in Collins Street. Now back there, of course, nowadays there's really nothing made locally. Everything is from overseas. So if you can get your hands on a vintage item that you know is made in your city, usually that era of clothing, it's made out of some kind of probably highly flammable polyester, really synthetic-y looking garment. The dress itself was lovely. It just happened to fit me perfectly. A lot of things from that time are very small, tiny clothing. That's all you can really get your hands on now. So if you can find something that fits you, well done to you. So I was really happy about that. I did make a lot of costumes for my daughters, and I made my husband's shirt. He wanted the big wide collar shirt, so that was fantastic. And the daughters, I made their clothes as well. So yeah, I think the son found a cowboy style shirt, and the eldest daughter wanted to be a cowgirl as well. So the whole good, bad, and the ugly theme. And the youngest at that time was obsessed with Willy Wonka, so she came as Veruca Salt, which was perfect for that era as well. So yeah, we had a fantastic time. So costume parties are really great fun. And as I said, a lot of people, we didn't expect to get into the whole spirit quite that much, but they really did. They really put a lot of effort into it, and we had a brilliant night. So we're hoping the twins' 21st will actually be another great night as well. We're going for the whole Midsummer Nights theme, so anything mystical, magical, mythical, quite a broad theme. So I think a lot of people will have inspiration to dress up as something that they've always wanted to be. So I'm busy sewing for that at the moment. The twins have actually ordered a dress each that they're using as the base for their costume, and then we're going to just elaborate and embellish those dresses. The youngest daughter wanted to be Hermione, dressed up in her Yule Ball gown, so I'll give you a bit of a snippet of what I've done with that. I'll give you updates on how the costumes are coming along, but we're having it on the 29th of Feb because we thought being a leap year, their birthday's on the 26th, but we thought on the 29th it's a special kind of night. Being a leap year, it's a little bit mystical in itself, so we thought it'd be a fantastic night to hold it on the 29th. Yeah, because we're only early on into the year, I thought I might miss the boat and not talk about last year's makes. I just thought it might be a little bit too tedious to take you guys through all my makes because there was quite a lot of them. If you're interested to see any of my makes from last year, most of them I have catalogued in my Instagram, Dahlia Society. If you wanted to follow me on Instagram, there you'll see a lot of my makes. So a lot of last year's, or basically all of last year's makes are on there if you wanted to go through those. So I'm going to pick out my top 5 things that I made. As I said, things that I've worn the most, things that I have made and not known a lot about the pattern and found that I absolutely loved wearing them. Things that I loved sewing and that came up really beautifully. These are the patterns that I felt that I did justice with as far as fabric goes to the pattern, and that I felt really stood out for me. So you might look at my Instagram feed and actually like a lot of other things better than these, but these are my personal choices, so I hope you like them. My number 5 of my favourite patterns I actually made in January last year would be the Helens Closet Winslow culottes. Now these are done in a viscose rayon from Spotlight. I'll pop some pictures up of me wearing those. Now these, I actually used Helen's hack on her blog post with the elastic back, because everyone knows how much I love elastic backs, and I know a lot of you guys do too, because on my skirt hack, the free patterns episode I just put out lately, a lot of you had commented how much you love that style, the flat front and elastic back. So Helen's Closet has done another great hack on that on their blog post, and you'll see if you wanted to know how to do that yourself. Winslow culottes are the most comfortable pants you will wear, because they look like a skirt, but they're actually more like a pant. So I really loved these on. These were just most comfortable light pants for summer. And I know a lot of people have made them in a more winter wear fabric as well. There's quite a lot of fabric and a lot of volume in there. So the lighter fabric you go for, the more floaty and drapey they will be. I have made them in a chambray denim, and I felt they were actually just a little bit too full, the volume of them and the stiffness of the fabric. I just think that if I made them in the future, I would definitely stick to this light, floaty rayon fabric. But they were a really firm favourite of mine, and as I say, I've worn them a lot this year and last year, and I've also layered them a lot. It's the sort of thing you can put like a denim jacket over with a nice t-shirt or a nice linen top. The Cielo top from Closet Case Patterns actually looks beautiful with them as well. In the pictures on Instagram, I've actually got it worn with the Mayo top from Marilla Walker. That's another great boxy style top as well. So that's the Helen's Closet Winslow culottes. Number 4 would be the Tilly and the Buttons Cleo Pinafore. I've made about 3 of these. I've worn, as I said, I did a whole episode. I'll link that below of my most worn items, which is pinafores. Now, you know that lately she brought out the Bobby Pinafore as well. Bobby Pinafore is a little bit different, being a bit of a more fitted pinafore. This is quite a really comfortable, easy wearing pinafore. It's the sort of thing you can wear over a high neck top, a knitted jumper, leggings, tights, that sort of thing, and you'll find that you can do quite a lot of different weighted fabrics in that as well. As I say, in the video that I did a denim one, I've done a pin cord, and this is a thicker kind of a fluffier kind of cord. You can do your internal bib in different fabric to make it a bit more special as well. And the Freya top, which was from Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, that's a fantastic basic pattern, can be made into a dress as well. I've got planned more of these to make for winter and autumn. Just love this fabric as well. This was from the fabric store. And the cord was from Spotlight, but as I say, the pattern itself was a really lovely, easy wearing pattern. And I've worn this to death, especially with boots, with some long tan boots. Yeah, I've got a lot of wear out of that this year. So really, really happy with that pattern. So I'm interested to make the Bobby just to see a little bit if it's a different kind of fitted pattern, and I'm also interested in making the Jennifer Lauren Pippi Pinafore as well, because it has got the more of a fitted waist and the A-line skirt. So love pinafores, but that's a definite number 4. Number 3 was a dress I made quite late in the year, and it's for the Christmas specials that I did, the Twice as Nice dress. This would be the Friday Pattern Company's Lucida Dress. Now, I had seen this on Instagram. I'd seen a lot of plain ones, a lot of velvet ones. I wasn't 100% sure with how difficult the pattern would be to make, because the actual ruching at the front, you'll see in the photos, it looks quite detailed and looks a little bit fiddly to make, but it was really, really easy. It's, as I say, beginner friendly as well. Friday Pattern Company, I really love that. Their whole aesthetic, their patterns are brilliant. I was really surprised on how beautiful it looked on, and also on a lot of different body types. It is a beautiful flattering dress because not only do you get that lovely shaping around the waist area, the lovely rouging around the bust area, but you get this gorgeous drape at the front that hits from the just under the bust line down. So it really flatters and falls beautifully. And I've seen it done in so many different fabrics, in knit fabrics predominantly. That's what it's made for, but lots of different weights of knit fabrics as well. So and I made that one a little bit longer sleeve than what the pattern had called for. You can make it in a short cap sleeve as well. I made a velour one for Christmas too, but that was a really definite favorite of mine. I've got quite a lot of interest in that when I made it for the vlog as well. So yeah, really happy with that. So that's the number 3. Number 2, most of you guys would remember coming over to my channel. A lot of you came from Tamlin and Keely's channels. We did a collaboration, so that's Voice of a Creative and Sewn on the Tyne. We actually did a collaboration with the Shelby Romper. The other girls did the dress. I think Tamlin did a short one, Keely did a mid-length one, and I decided for the culotte style. Now, I loved how this came up. I was really a little bit unsure of doing so many buttons and having it quite fitted, then also having to have the whole pants, the culotte style with the whole crutch issue and everything, just being unsure of the fit. And I was thrilled with how this came out, and especially because I hadn't made much in spots. I got a really good reaction to that too, and I just love that whole vintage aspect, the whole mustard colorway in it with the dots, and the fact that hubby had actually helped me pick the fabric out, and he's got a pretty good eye for that kind of thing. So I was really unsure of whether to go for polka dots because it's not something I pick very often, but was really wrapped in how that turned out. So yeah, I made the longer length leg. The fit's beautiful. I've worn it quite a few times. It's the sort of thing you can dress up or down for a night out or out to lunch with flat sandals and that type of thing. So very wearable, very flattering style on. Not as hard as I expected as well. The buttons is probably the most fiddliest thing on there, but a lovely shape and that really 90s kind of throwback feel to it as well. So loved that. Now, this is my number 1 special make for the year. I've actually got 2 number 1s. I was a bit naughty and I thought, will I go for top 10, top 5? And I thought, no, I want to stick to round 5 because the things that really stood out to me, I think I wanted to keep it nice and short and sweet. I've got 2 number 1s. One of them is more of an everyday wearable garment. The other one is more of a special occasion garment. So my number 1 everyday wearable garment would be the Fringe top from Chalk and Notch. I made the Fringe top in 2 top versions and 1 dress version. I've also got an episode that I'll link if you guys haven't seen that on my vlog as well. I loved this top so much. I have probably worn this the most out of any make that I made last year. I made it in winter time, but I've actually worn it for winter and summer because I layered it for winter, and for summer I've worn it over like 3/4 pants and jeans and that sort of thing as well. But the thing I like the most about it is the beautiful neckline. It's got a really unusual shaped neckline, and just the style of it. It's really floaty, easy to wear, something you can dress up or down, and something that probably will stick around the wardrobe for years to come. It probably won't date. This is in a gorgeous art gallery rayon, and I picked this up from Wattle Hill Fabrics. I'll link their store below here. It's they're in Australia here. They have a gorgeous range of art gallery fabrics. But this to me was my most favorite fabric of the year, favorite style of the year. So I really hit on a winner there as far as the pattern goes. And I loved everything about the pattern, the fitting, the fact you can have different cup sizes, the fantastic instructions as well. Quite a lot of testers that made this pattern as well that look fantastic on so many different body shapes. So yeah, really love the Fringe top or dress. I also made another one in a linen fabric as well. Not quite as drapey, of course, because it changes the structure of the fabric of the pattern, but definitely in a rayon viscose, it's a beautiful style top or dress. The other number 1, which was a close tie, this is my special occasion wear, would be the Magnolia from Deer and Doe. I did another episode on this dress for a review as well, and wore this out to an engagement party and absolutely loved everything about this dress. I made a short sleeve, shorter one as well. And it's a sort of thing, as I say, I would make this again and again because not only does the fit fit beautifully. It's a sort of thing that you can adapt and change with your sleeve lengths as well. For winter or summer, you could do quite a varied type of fabrics, more of a heavier weight crepe or a lighter weight like a rayon. Even chiffons and georgettes and that type of thing work really well in it as well. But just got the most beautiful lines. The dress itself is quite easy to make, and as I say, this one I put little shoulder pads just to give it a bit more of a statuesque kind of look. But really, really love the Magnolia, and I love a lot of the deer and doe patterns. It's actually inspired me to make more of the patterns themselves because of how happy I was with this particular dress. So definitely a winner for me, Magnolia and the fringe top. So I hope you enjoyed my top 5 patterns for 2019. A lot of the time in the things that you choose for your top 5, the fabric has got such a huge part in what you love the most. But when you can find a pattern and the fabric that works together, that's when it all comes together beautifully, and you can really say that you've created something special for yourself. It takes time to work out how to choose fabrics to patterns, and a lot of the times I will take a risk because I will want to make something that I've looked at online and seen a lot of people doing like a plain version, and then I'll go and make a printed one and think, well, let's hope it works. And usually when you take a gamble, things do work out quite well. You can really surprise yourself with being a bit more creative and just going with your gut feeling instead of just copying whatever everyone else has done. So don't be scared to take a risk, because that way you know that you're creating something that's truly unique, that you know suits yourself and your personality. And it's fantastic. That's what makes the world go round, when we all choose different things to suit ourselves and really put your own unique stamp on something as well. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I will be back very soon for another episode that I hope you can join in and have a look at my makes for January. So that will be coming up very shortly. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to click and subscribe to my channel. That way you won't miss out on any updates coming up in the near future. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.